morning. Can you hear me clearly? My name is Diki Choyang. I am the cabinet member responsible for international relations and information. I will be serving as your moderator today. First of all, thank you for this, for attending today's press conference on a very short notice. We have had several media requests for Kalon Tripa, Dr. Lawson Senge. So in the interest of time and for logistical reasons, we thought it best to convene all of you this morning to give you all an opportunity to pose your questions. So I would like to begin by inviting Kalon Tripa, Dr. Lawson Senge, to say a few opening remarks, and that will be followed by a question-answer period.
Hello everybody, that's good wishes in Tibetan. Glad to be here in Bodh Gaya, where Shakyamuni attained his nirvana, and really blessed to be attending the 32nd Kalachakra, the highest form of Buddhist teaching by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And as you can see, the Kalachakra is going on very well, to the extent one could, given the logistic matter. It's quite complicated. We have about 150,000 people from around the world, and till date we have a record of around 63 countries from where Buddhists and non-Buddhists who are interested in teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama have come, and we also have around 8,000 Tibetans from Tibet. Of course, in one sense the number is quite big, but on the other hand we have around 6 million Tibetans, of which only 8,000 could make it. Many more applied for passport and permits, but many more didn't get. But those who are here, Central Tibet administration have done our best to facilitate their stay, and so that they could attend the teachings and fulfill their most of them the lifelong dream to come to the Holy Land of India, to be blessed by His Holiness and to seek His teaching. And we also have around 1,200 Chinese from mainland China. Again, it is another indication that there is a growing interest among Chinese people as well. As we know, anywhere from 200 million to 300 million Chinese are reportedly Buddhist or Buddhist leaning, and then 1,200, small number, but again it indicates their growing interest, and especially their faith and loyalty to His Holiness Buddhist scholarship. And so it is, in some ways, we have also around 8,000 reported foreigners. So in some ways this is an international gathering of sorts, and many people from the Himalayan region have come, and then many Tibetans from all around the world have come. So it is a privilege and honor to do the best we could as part of CTA to facilitate this teaching, but the main responsibility is handled by the Kalachakra organizing committee. So we are here to provide information from security point of view, from our Department of Religion and Culture is also involved in lending our expertise and know-how to the organizing committee. So I'm also here, part to attend the teaching and part to attend some other events here. So it's great honor and privilege to come to Bodh Gaya and to attend the 32nd Kalachakra teaching by His Holiness Dalai Lama. With that, I welcome you all. Even though you have job to do, I'm sure you are doing it very, very well. But while doing your job, I'm sure you are automatically spiritually blessed. With the blessing, when you return home, you will be a better person and better human being and contribute towards world peace, which is the purpose of the Kalachakra. With that note, I welcome any questions you have. If you don't have also, it's fine. Thank you.
What's your action plan Chinese occupied Tibet? What is the question?
You want to repeat it, the question?
What is the, now, I thought I was addressing Kalachakra and spiritual Buddhist teaching. The first question is, what is our action plan?
To liberate the Tibet,
To
occupied by
liberate
China.
the Tibet. To liberate the Tibet.
Tibet.
One at a time. Tibet administration stands for restoration of freedom in Tibet and return of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to Tibet. These are the key aspirations of Tibetans inside and outside. Based on these two aspirations, two basic principles that we follow are non-violence and democracy. Once we subscribe to non-violence, based on ahimsa, teaching or philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi, then you believe in dialogue. Through dialogue, you want to solve the issue of Tibet. And based on this concept, we would like to reach out to the Chinese government to solve the issue of Tibet peacefully, based on mutual interest. And that's why CTA, or the Tibetan administration, stands for middle way, which seeks genuine autonomy within China. So our action plan is, because this non-violent movement is through dialogue, and we want to have dialogue with the Chinese government. As you might know, our envoys of His Holiness Dalai Lama have visited and have dialogue with the Chinese counterpart 9 times. But since January of 2010, now it's been exactly 2 years, our envoys have not been able to go, not that they don't want to. We are always ready to go anywhere the Chinese government call us and to have dialogue. But there's a lack of reciprocity from the Chinese government side, hence there's a stalemate at the moment. But we believe in dialogue. We want to solve the issue of Tibet on a mutual interest basis.
There's a cordless mic that's circulating. Sampela, I think there's a second question here. So if you can just wait until you have the cordless mic so everybody can hear your question. Thank you.
Your country? Andorra. Yes, I know, yes. Morals for autonomy around the world. There are many models. There is the concept of confederation, federation and autonomies around the world, and Catalina and Basque and Andorra are some examples. But from all spectrum, from Quebec in Canada to Northern Ireland to Hong Kong and Macau within China. So there are many models around the world, and then that's altogether different literature. You don't want to go into details as to how many models are there. But within that framework, what Tibetans are seeking is genuine autonomy within China. If the Chinese government is interested to model autonomy, then they can look at Spain or European models, or even Asian models, even some African models as well. But if they want to look a model within China, they can. There's Hong Kong and Macau. And on related note, I have often said this: Tibet is not a constitutional problem for China, or institutional challenge for China, or political will as well. Because based on Chinese constitution, Article 31 clearly says that one could establish administrative region. Based on that, the Hong Kong Basic Law was drafted, one country, two system. So constitutionally there is a provision for autonomy within China. Now institutionally, there is also a process in place and also institutional mechanism, because if you, often when you say Hong Kong have one country, two system, why can't Tibetans have similar arrangement? Chinese are quick to point out. They will say, well, Hong Kong already had a British commercial system and rule of law, so it was recognition of the status rather than giving them some additional autonomy. If that is the case, then Macau was, as per newspaper reports, was a crime-infested area. Many criminals from China fled to Macau. There was no rule of law as such, but even Macau was given one country, two system. So that means institutionally again, Chinese government created altogether different one country, two system for Macau. So if constitutionally a basic law can establish one country system for Hong Kong and institutionally for Macau, so it's not a constitutional or institutional problem for the Chinese government to establish autonomy for Tibetan people. Now there is not also lack of political will. For Taiwan, the Chinese government is willing to grant more autonomy for Taiwan or recognize the same. Of course, many people in Taiwan dispute that, some don't agree with that, but that's a different separate matter. So it's not a constitutional issue for China or an institutional issue for China or lack of political will, because they are already showing their political will to recognize or grant more autonomy to Taiwan. Hence the question is, why isn't the Chinese government granting genuine autonomy as per the Chinese laws for Tibetan people? So if they want models, they can go from, as you said, Catalina, Basque, anywhere. But if they want to look within China also, there's, constitution, institutional and practical models. I think the question the Chinese government has to answer is, why are Tibetans not granted autonomy when they have granted to Hong Kong, Macau, and willing to grant for Taiwan? There lies the major question. I think the indication seems to be that you all are Tibetans, you all are different, hence you are not, we can't grant you autonomy. But if you are Chinese or Han Chinese, like Hong Kong, Macau, we will give you one country, two system. And if you are now in Taiwan, either you are Chinese, some will say they are Taiwanese, then we will grant you more autonomy. But if you are Tibetan, then you don't want to give. That seems to be the message. So as long as the Chinese government does not give genuine autonomy to Tibetans,